Okay, if you feel like you've gone too ash, the trick would be to go with your bronzer. I'm in love with the bronzer. With L'Unico Sol by Bare Mineral, just kidding, La Belladonna, uh, mineral line. And I get nuts with my bronzer. Like, here we go. Ain't gonna mess around. You always will notice me tapping my brush like this because I want the color to go in. I don't want to waste it and get it all over the place at the beginning, maybe a little bit. But immediately, so you could see where the face is the map, but you have to know and you have to see how the light hits it. You have to be aware of those things. You don't just want to do stuff because, you know, Jaclyn Hill tells you to do them. You want to learn how to do it for yourself. So when you see that bone structure, you see how that light hits. Like, that is my cheekbone right there, because that's the highest point. That's the point that's popping. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. And I'm obsessed with bronzer, obsessed with blush. I mean, I'm usually wearing like 7 at any given time. I've created the palette on my face. This is the palette that I want. So now I'm going to start to blend it out. I'm still keeping that darkness down here that I got from my contour. I don't even need to look. I know that shit's going down deep. But what I'm trying to go for is this, like, sun-kissed, you know little kids when they have that perfect skin and they're flushed and they're running back from the water at the beach and their skin looks so flawless. That's always the look I'm trying to go for. I mean, it's one look that I just love. So going back to the concealer, remember how we were talking about the concealer? We haven't even said it yet. So I just kind of double check, make sure that nothing creased too much into the ball sacks, and pat it out. Now, sometimes what people do is they'll put on their contour or their highlight and their concealer and it looks white. It looks like they went skiing and they were wearing goggles and there they are. I don't like to have that look. I want everything to flow in from one color to the next. So I like to take the residual color that's left on my brush from the bronzer and go ahead and immediately start packing in what's left. And there's not a lot on here, so I don't need to worry about it being as intense as that first pop that I did. But it's like, if I took my makeup off, if I took the bronzer off and I peeled it and held it up in front of me, you would see the intensity at the top of the forehead and here in this part of the face, but it's all one piece. It's all one piece except for where the eyes and the lip would be. So you can already see that. Like, it's not so white anymore. It's just because it's summer and I'm walking around the city a lot. Usually that concealer works perfectly for me. Next, moving on to the blush, finally. Like, you see how fast that was? It's been 24 minutes, but I'm also talking, and 26:47. So I Raggedy Ann doll it. This is going to get stupid how I do this. Again, I'm using the same brush. I haven't left from my face too. And I'm so light. Like before you saw me pounding, pounding my face. But now I'm like, it's like I'm just hitting it fast enough, but it's so light that it's pushing the color in such a slowly expansive way. So it looks like the blood from my my body is just coming up to the surface in a it starts from nowhere and it ends in nowhere type of way. So I'm just pop. But sometimes I just get the fuck in there and pat it. I'm not gonna do any of this. I don't want a lot of color up here. The goal is to keep it light and to keep the color here to make it look round, because naturally the blood bubbles up from right here. It doesn't really emerge as strongly from here. Plus, it's just very reminiscent of an 80s look, like which is fine. An 80s look is cool, but that's not that's not the look. So, and again, I want to do my forehead because naturally, where I'm trying to mimic the blood that's coming from within, and I'm also trying to mimic where the sun would hit on my face. So Sometimes I get a little too crazy on the forehead though, and I look sunburned. So see how I just kind of like, again, rolled out that dough. Rolled out that dough. And again, I'm just going to go a little bit into this area, even though this is a cream, a little bit on the chin. And now I'm going to go a little bit everywhere because that blood is everywhere. It's all over the face, but it's just more condensed and concentrated in these areas. You could be done with your blush if you were you, but I'm obsessed. I like to start with that peachy one, and I'm just mad crazy over this berry blush. What is it called? Chocolate cherry. I called it pomegranate today on my Instagram, which is at Meganomics 101, by the way. You could also look me up on my website, check out my work. But lately I haven't really been doing so much makeup. Every now and again, maybe like once to 3 times a month do I get makeup work where I'm on set. But mostly I'm sitting at home in my pajamas writing about it. Right now I'm working for a sunless tanner company, a hair extension company, and a bridal company that trains and educates its makeup artists. So, woo! Look at that. And you can see I started to leave, I'm not staying in my lane. I'm not letting my blush stay in my lane, and I went a little too far up, but that's okay. That's okay. See that? It's that youthful look. I'm obsessed. Very Victorian, except for the bronzer. Fuck, dude. It's already looking dope. Do I even have a powder blush with me? I tried to pack as much as I could, but didn't bring powder blushes with me, apparently. So, oh, okay. Yes, I did. I forgot. This is Hot Makeup's Desert Sunrise, and it's my jam. Like, oh, man, again, when I went and popped this baby on, I didn't realize how pigmented it was. So, this is so extra. Just here. Just right there. Okay, so I packed it, but now it's like I'm grazing the top with a razor blade or something. Like I'm just trying to move. Or like if I had sand on a piece of paper and I was just moving it around, that's kind of how I'm imagining it. I'm imagining that the brush isn't even touching my skin. It's just touching the color. And why I like to do that is because it's like contour, but it still has this bronzer tone. Look, even the La Belladonna won't help the Bermuda Triangle. It just has this, like, I can't describe it. It's ashier in tone, but it's still warm. And it really brings in, like I cut that and bring that cheekbone out. So it makes me look younger. It makes my cheeks look higher. It's just so extra. Okay. Then I like to go in with my Joie de Vie. I think this was only a seasonal color, but damn, my friend Cece gave it to me and she didn't know. She didn't know what she did. So I'm just popping it right there. Like Raggedy Ann doll. This is matte. It's a matte. I mean, it's got a little bit of a sheen, so it's not matte, but it's not a satin. It's like a matten. Copyrighted. My term. Trademark. Just to set it, but because I'm crazy, I really love this red. I can't see what it's called, from Ben Nye. Just a little bit. And this, be so careful, because if you want to look sunburn, then there you go. But I ain't trying to look sunburn. I'm just trying to look more than sun-kissed. Sun made out with. Sun made out with. Sun and I, we were smooching. Oh my God. Anytime I make a cheesy ass joke, I can just hear my sister going, stupid. So dumb. Okay.